All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. All right, so in today's live stream, we'll talk about what we can expect from the markets this week. And then obviously we'll play some chess. And it looks like my network is not as strong. Give me a sec. Um, should be, let's see. Okay, I'm connected, so it looks like I'm good. All right. I probably just have to refresh the page. I think it'll be good now. Okay, it looks good now. But I'm not gonna be playing rapid. All right, so we'll take a look at what we can expect from this week. We still have the government shutdown, which is kind of a lot of the airports are getting affected. Which I have an upcoming trip, so hopefully it doesn't affect my flight. Hopefully the government gets opened up in this week. I'm hopeful that it gets opened up this week because I do not want my flight to get canceled. I'll be traveling for Thanksgiving, so yeah, hopefully it doesn't get canceled. That and other people as well are affected. A lot of people travel for work and they can't get to where they need to get to. Because from what the looks of it, I did remember that the FAA is, part of the government. So, I always forget that when we have these government shutdowns, the airports are affected. So, yeah, it sucks. So hopefully this week we get the government shutdown to come to an end, and that's going to affect the markets. I think once the government shutdown ends, we're going to see a spike in the market. Right now, we've seen a huge downturn in crypto and the market and in stocks as well. And again, I think it's been shut down. I think this is probably the longest shutdown we've had. I think the one that was the longest before this was like a month, and I think we're already past a month. We're like a month in a week or two. So yeah, sucks. So that's kind of holding up the market. Let's see what else we can look forward to this week. So I have the summary here. So economic data and Fed commentary. So the economic calendar is lighter than usual. Actually, let me check my mic before I continue. Give me a sec. Let me check my mic. So I have the summary here. So economic data and Fed commentary. So the economic calendar is lighter than usual. Actually, let me check my mic before I continue. All right. So it looks like my mic is working. Looks like it's working. So give me just a sec. All right. So let's get into the summary. the summary. Okay, so it says economic data and Fed commentary. The economic calendar is lighter than usual this week because of the ongoing 2025 United States federal government shutdown. Several data releases may be delayed or uncertain. So, yeah, like we said, a lot of the economic data we're not getting because of the government shutdown. So, we're waiting for the government shutdown to close up so we could get this economic data. And then also, hopefully, that economic data suggests for another interest rate cut here in December. Because it actually, remember in October or September, October, it was about a 93, 94% chance that we were going to get a rate cut. So everybody knew we were going to get that 25 basis points. But now that we haven't had the economic data, if you look at the Fed Watch tool, we're sitting at 60. Let me check it again because I haven't checked it recently. But the last time I checked, we were at around 63% or something like that. All right, let me check. Okay, so we're at 66.9%. So, yeah, it's not like 93%, 94. And that's what I was saying last time. I think we're going to get an interest rate cut in December. And I don't think it's going to be close to that 90%. I think it's going to be around 60 to 70%. And that's what's going to make that interest rate cut so much more powerful, in my opinion, because, again, the last ones we were able to price in like a week or two in advance because the Fed Watch tool was sitting at 93, 94%. But now that it's sitting at 66.9%, maybe if the government shutdown closes, we get economic data before December, which most likely will happen. That percentage may go up to 70 or 80%, or maybe even 90%. But if it stays around that 67%, I think this interest rate cut that we're going to get in December is going to be so much more powerful because people are not going to be so certain that we're going to get it, right? And again, the market moves off expectations and certainty and things like that. So if we end up getting it, I think the market can explode, right? But I do think the government shutdown will end this month. I don't think it's gonna be something that goes on until December. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's gonna happen. All right, so it says with less fresh data, markets would lean heavily on Fed speeches, monetary policy signals, and sentiment rather than hard numbers. The shutdown means inflation and job data could be missing or delayed. That uncertainty itself becomes a driver, and that's what we mentioned. So it says stocks. If the data that does come out is weak or absent, it may increase expectations of Fed being more accommodative, which tends to be more positive for risk assets. Conversely, stronger than expected data could push concerns of a tighter policy. And again, remember, the Fed said that they were going to stop quantitative tightening December 1st, but they already started injecting liquidity through repos, last week. And I believe they did it like twice already. So they're already injecting liquidity into the market. They're already, in my opinion, quantitative easing is starting. And I think that's really positive for the market as well. Crypto. Lower data flow might make crypto even more sensitive to macro and narrative signals, Fed, ETF news, regulatory headlines, rather than fundamental economic prints. Yeah, and I know we were waiting on altcoins, ETFs to come through, and I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping up with it, but again, privacy coins are doing really well. I remember I was telling you Zcash went up a lot, and then that kind of trickled into Dash. And then I saw this morning that Monero was running up pretty substantially as well. So yeah, I think the privacy sector is definitely, those legacy coins are definitely seeing a boost, but I think some other narratives are going to start to take off as well. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people expected the market to be like get us to be in that parabolic run up, right? I guarantee a lot of people, not I guarantee, but you can even see it on X. A lot of people did not expect for Bitcoin to be sitting at 100K in November. They were thinking 130, 140, 150, and I still think we get there, but a lot of people thought that we would be there already, and we would have already had that parabolic run in all coins. So yeah, this cycle is slightly different. I think it's moving probably 60 to 70% like the other cycles, but the fact that Bitcoin passed its all-time highs before the halving, that was a little bit different. And then it's taking longer for us to get that parabolic run. And then also things like privacy coins. Nobody saw privacy coins running up or running up before everything else ran up. So although people claim that, you see that on crypto on X, where nobody's talking about a certain coin, but when it starts to pump, everybody had a bag in that coin. They were invested from the beginning, and you always kind of see that. And it's just people that are just trading the momentum and trading the trend. They weren't in it in the beginning. I know some people that were in Zcash, like a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there was like one or two people when I was in the coin Dash. They were, I think, one of the like one of the cult followers of Dash, like the person that's really into the project. He was into Zcash. He has his own podcast as well, and he was like back and forth between Zcash. He's primarily in Dash, but he supports the Zcash community. So there's a couple people that were in Zcash before it pumped, but those people are long-term holders. They're not like selling their Zcash, or maybe they sold a little bit, but they're still holding on to most of their position. Okay, government shutdown risk. The current shutdown is already in place and effects are starting to show. Consumer surveys are slipping. Government spending friction is rising. Historically, stock markets have not always collapsed due to shutdowns. For example, stocks posted gains during many previous ones. However, the longer the shutdown drags on, the greater the risk of growth drag and policy confusion. Yeah, and that's true. Because like I said, the longest government shutdown we had was a month. So this one is already extending past that amount of time. So, now people are getting worried, like, okay, is this going to continue? And we're starting to see it, like in things like the airport. We see it, people suffering there. And again, a lot of people travel for work. So that is something that's being affected, right? Man, this electrolyte pre-workout is very sweet. Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. Like the electrolytes, the pre-workout, they're very sweet, or very sour, I would say. Crypto dynamics. All right, so next thing here on the list is crypto dynamics. Some analysts see near-term upside in major coins. They're suggesting Bitcoin tied to ETF flows, regulatory clarity. Yeah, that Clarity Act as well. I think a lot of people are waiting for. I think that's like close to the finish line. That will be coming out soon. And yeah, we have a lot of bullish catalysts coming up. Once we get that government shutdown to end, and if we get something like the Clarity Act passed, I think that's going to ignite that parabolic run. And the fact that we're running around that time frame in which everything goes parabolic, it's just suggesting pretty soon here we'll see a really nice move. I honestly I didn't think it would go on into at least well into 2026, but now looking at the market and this not knowing, but like seeing that this cycle is slightly a little bit different, we could run into January and February for this bull run. I think first quarter maximum. I don't think we go well into 2026, but I think we do trickle into 2026 a little bit. My outlook, what to expect from this week. So again, stocks moderately bullish, 60% chance of mild rally, consideration near highs. Again, because of no data, no economic data, markets may lead on no bad surprises and favor risk assets. Crypto, more volatile policy, possibly trending upwards in sentiment, driving bursts, maybe a 50 to 70% chance of a short-term breakout. And Bitcoin, major altcoins, and things like that. Yeah, I feel like for crypto, we've seen the privacy sector go up. I think it's good. Again, it's going to be sector by sector, and it's going to be coins that provide utility. I think privacy, we haven't talked about, like, the privacy sector hasn't been that hot in crypto, but it provides a utility. Nobody wants their transactions to be in the public for everybody to see. So that is a utility that they provide. And projects that have been working, these projects like Zcash, Dash, Firo, they've been working on privacy since 2017 or maybe even earlier, right? Dash probably a little bit earlier. And Firo 2 used to be called Zcoin. These projects have been working to push privacy. So you can't just come out with a coin and say it's privacy and thing. I've been in these groups. I've owned these coins before. And I can tell you, they work really hard. They have good developers. They know the space. They're really into privacy. So that's why these coins, I could see why they pumped. I wasn't expecting them to pump, but I could see why, because they provide really good utility. And remember, Bitcoin lacks that. Bitcoin lacks the privacy. And when this thing goes mainstream, which it is, like crypto's already mainstream, but once it goes really, really mainstream where you have corporations using it every day and it's just in the day-to-day activity, people are going to want privacy and they're going to be looking for those coins. So yeah, what could you cover? Bum, 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 bum. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what we have to expect this week. I expect a lot of news to come out that about the government shutdown this week. I think that we're getting close to it being coming to an end, but we have to see, and we'll see what happens this week. All right. So let's play some chess, and yeah, that's pretty much it. What was that? Yeah, I think he knew, like, it was game over. The Ruby Lopez. I'll do this. Oof, free piece. No, he's got to take that horse. That's 2 for 1, no? Yeah, I'll take 2 for 1. I'll do the 2 for 1. I'm confident with that, with the bishop. I'm confident with the bishop. Oof, what are you gonna do, buddy? You're gonna have to go up. Oof. He can't see it. I don't think he sees it. The rook is gonna be mine. Oh, no, he does see it. Um... buddy, I think this is game over right here. I think this is game over. Ugh. Game over. It's game over. All right, one more and that's it. One more and that's it. Can I go 3 for 3 is the question. Can I go 3 for 3 is the question. I think I can. Exit body. Oof. Oof. Ooh, is that a free piece? I think so. I think it's over for him. I think it's over for the kid. Eggs are tatted all over her body. My wrist. Oof. Oof. There we go. It's over for the kid. Alright. It's over. Should be alright. Wait, what can he do there? If I go here, right? Ooh, this might be a little. Yeah, he has to. He can't. He can't do anything. He has to go back. I think. Oh no, he made a mistake. Oh, I made a mistake. Never mind. All right, let's do this. Yeah, buddy. I don't think so, buddy. Um. Oof. I gotta hurry up. There we go. Ooh. Darn it. Ooh. Yes. 3 games straight. I was running out of time, but I had 15 seconds. He didn't see that. And I was like, hold on. I know that I was up something. I knew he had left something hanging because I was. All right, let me go back. I want to see. Yeah, so I was trying to check him here, but I didn't know he can move. I didn't know he had this F5 right here. So he moved that, but then the queen was hanging. I thought when I hit him here and I checked him, he would have took with the queen, but he didn't. So yeah. All right. So that's what we have to expect, or well, that's what we can expect from this week. We still have the government shut down. Looks like crypto's bouncing back a little bit. We're seeing things again, like privacy's making a run up again. But I think we'll start to see other sectors here soon. So more to come. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.